Okay, good evening, Donte. Can you start off with a few opening comments for us, please?
Last night we played Oregon State and we lost as a team. I mean, whether it was coaching, whether it was playing, just like we win together, we lose together. So, I mean, all aspects of the game, whether it was offense, defense, special teams, and coaching, we have to do better. So it doesn't mean that overnight we just completely get a magic potion and become somebody totally different. We have to continue to enhance everything we do, right? Everybody has to do whatever they did this past week. They need to do it a lot better, and they need to do a lot more. And that's what we'll continue to do, and we'll continue to fight.
All right, please raise your hand if you have questions. I see we'll start with Ryan Abraham.
Hey, Donte. When you go into the halftime and after the game, how does it work with you and the coordinators? Do you kind of convey to them what the message you want to be, sent out to the players at halftime and after the game?
I'm constantly communicating with the coordinators the whole game. So it's not like just at halftime, it's like I need to say something to them, because when the offense is actually on the field, I have my headset on the offense, I'm listening to everything, and I'm constantly talking to them, no different than the defense. So it's not like halftime, it's like I immediately need to talk to somebody, because I've been talking to them, and then so we kind of already have the same message going in. And then when we get into the locker room, the defense goes to one locker room, the offense goes to like another, as far as coaches, just so they can, as a staff, talk amongst each other. Once they come out and they talk to the players, I hear what's being said, and then I'll pretty much take it from there, and then I talk to the team and we go back out.
And then just after watching the film, anything kind of stand out to you that something you might have been able to do better in the game last night?
I mean, shoot, we lost, so everything I feel we can do a lot better. I feel like I could coach a lot better. I feel like we could play defense a lot better. I feel like we could play offense a lot better. I mean, everything, literally, it was always something that was a little out of place, and it wasn't like the players didn't fight hard. They did. It wasn't like the coaches didn't try to, coach hard. They did. But at the same time, we have to do it better than what we did. Otherwise we're going to continue to get those results that we got last night.
Okay, let's go to Ryan Young.
Donte, what has Jalen Smith shown you the last 2 weeks in his opportunities? Is he a guy who could possibly see a bigger role going forward?
Jalen Smith constantly shows me a guy in practice that, is going to compete, and he does it with a smile on his face. So, he's real twitchy, he's quick twitch, and, he's growing in our defense, especially, we've been doing a lot of things the last few weeks, and, like we say, we're going to simplify some things, just to get, the guys that are athletic, that maybe are young, just to get them to get on the field and play fast, so they don't have to think. I mean, that's the only thing that slows down the athletic, younger type guy, is them having to think. So we're going to do everything possible to get those guys on the field to where they don't have to think and they can just react and play.
On that note, what does Corey Foreman have to do to get more opportunity out there?
Well, Corey's been dinged up a little bit. So that's what, just the first part of the season is he's had, a lot of knickknacks and bruises, whether it was a knee or whether it was a wrist. It was quite a few different things that he had, that was bothering him. So, now I'm pretty sure he's 100% healthy, during football, so he's never really 100, but he's close enough to it to where he can start contributing a lot more.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Adam Grossbart.
Hey, Donte. After the game yesterday, a couple of the guys said they felt like when adversity hit, the team kind of lost its energy. Was that something that you saw when you looked over the film?
No. I mean, to be honest, in the fourth quarter, I saw guys play a lot harder in the fourth than they did the third. So I can't say that. That's almost like some of these guys quit. The guys that was on the field were still out there participating and still fighting. When we kick the onside kick, you still see guys trying to go, get the ball. You see guys still making tackles and getting interceptions and still showing a lot of emotion. So I wouldn't say that. I probably would say a couple of guys, maybe had like down faces, or, it's a little different when you get into a football game and the guy across from you, you realize that just because you're out there talking crap, that he actually will hit you back too. It's not practice. So you have to go back and forth. You got to take the good with the bad, and that's football. So I wouldn't say guys quit at all.
Okay, Ryan Karchi.
Hey, Donte. Obviously, it was, kind of a strange week, I imagine, for Keaton stepping into the situation with there being a quarterback battle kind of announced at the beginning of the week. How do you feel like he responded kind of just given those circumstances in this game?
Well, in the first half, he made a couple good, good plays and a couple good throws, and he was going through his reads. I mean, the one exception in the first half, it was more of a bad play by us and a great play by, their DB, the one interception. But other than that, in the first half, he played solid. In the second half, he started pressing. You start seeing us get down. I think he started making some error throws that, he wished he could have back. And he started rushing through a couple of things as far as his progressions. But the first half he played solid. Just like all of us, he has to continue to improve, and we all will improve together.
Do you anticipate that Jackson will definitely be out through this week and Keaton will be the quarterback next Saturday?
To be honest, it's still a week-to-week, deal because, you see even Jackson sideline, he's still walking around. It's not like he has a knee brace on or anything like that or crutches. He's not on any of that. So that's why it's still week to week. I have no idea exactly the date that he will be back. The trainers have to release him. So it's still week to week. The moment that he gets clearance and he can move around, then he'll be back.
All right, Nathan Ackerman.
Hey, Coach. You've said many times that the quarterback battle is always an open competition between everybody in that room. When Keaton started to struggle in the second half, was there any thought to putting Miller Moss in, and why did you ultimately not decide to put him in?
He still did some great things in the first half, and some of the things he did in the second half, it wasn't just Keaton struggling. We were struggling as a team. So whether that was the O-line, the receivers, the tight ends, Keaton, play calling, like we all struggled, me coaching, like it wasn't just Keaton by himself. He's not, a one-man show. Like I say, it's no I or me, it's a us and a we. So he wasn't the only one struggling. We struggled together. So no, I didn't consider that.
Okay, I see that person identified as iPad 6 is actually Scott Schrader. So we'll go to Scott.
Hey, Donte. After the game last night, BJ Taylor said this about when they felt they had USC beat. When we first got on offense, our offensive line was just dominating the whole game, every offensive possession. The offensive line was pushing them back, and the holes were just opening up. They just kind of dominated you guys with their offensive line. And is there any way to fix that type of issue?
When people say that, they automatically think that the O-line dominated the D-line. That's what they think. But a lot of the run stuff is different things. They did some things that all of a sudden where they open up gaps and make the corner have to make a tackle, open up gaps, make the safety have to make a tackle. Sometimes the linebacker have to make a tackle. So some people hear that and they think they just dominated the D-line. That wasn't the case. They made it to where it was one-on-one tackles. And at times, sometimes we didn't make those tackles. And some credit to Oregon State because they had it schemed up and they did some good things. So it wasn't just that they just dominated the line of scrimmage. Sometimes we had 3 D linemen taking on all 5 of their O linemen. So we need someone else to make the play. So I wouldn't just say that they just dominated us up front. It was a combination of things.
And another question: any chance that we could see Rajon Davis start to play a little more?
It's a chance you can see a lot of these guys start to play a lot more. It's like I say, it's always open competition, and it's us as coaches to make sure we get the best players on the field on a week-to-week basis that make sure that we succeed as a team. So it's always open.
Thank you.
Antonio Morales.
Hey, Donte, why wasn't Kyle Ford dressed for yesterday's game?
Well, he ended up saying he had a little, knee problem right before the game. So it's something that he's been battling with the last 2 weeks, and he even played last week with it. And it constantly keeps going. And, it was kind of a back and forth deal. And I guess right when we were at the hotel before we left to go to the game, he said he couldn't go.
Thanks.
Back to Adam Grossberg.
Yeah, on that same note, why wasn't Chris Thompson dressed yesterday?
Chris Thompson also was another guy that's dealing with a little issue that came up late in the week, something that he's been battling also for the last couple of weeks. So, just was best to pretty much hold him out in that week, and hopefully that, give him a couple more days and he'll be able to get back.
An issue with what?
He has a little minor leg injury.
Thank you.
Ryan Abraham.
Hey, Dante, we didn't see a lot of Drake Jackson in the second half. Was there any issues with him?
Just some things that they were doing. You know, we kind of get into certain personnel to stop certain things, and it became like a run dominant type game. And he's another guy that's been battling, you know, quite a few things. So, you know, we tried to make sure and keep him fresh if we ever got back to a past situation. So it was kind of going back and forth. And, you know, it gets to a point to where in the game is, you know, guys can't go at a certain point. So, I mean, he's a warrior. He continued to battle. I mean, it happened early in the game, and he's kind of been dealing with it also for a couple of weeks, and he continued to play. So, I mean, credit to him.
Thanks.
And Ryan Young again.
Dante, what was your input on deciding to lean on Keontae Ingram as kind of a true lead back early in the game there?
I'm sorry, I couldn't quite hear you.
Yeah, what was your input with the offensive staff on choosing to lean on Keontae Ingram as kind of a true lead back?
I mean, well, those guys still rotated. The play count, I believe, was something similar, but at the same time, a lot of our plays are RPO type plays. So it's a run pass option. And he just happened to be in a lot more of the type of situations where we're handing the ball off instead of being in the situations where we passed. And you look at Vi, he kind of ended up being in there a lot more in the pass type situations. So, you know, it was still those guys. Like I said, we continue to battle also on a week-to-week basis, you know, based on who will start, who's in on what particular type plays.
Gotcha. And then going back to just the accountability stuff we talked about the last 2 weeks with the receivers and the drops, is there anything special or unique you would do with them this week to try and address that?
You know, when you look at some of those drops, it was always guys looking upfield. You know, it was guys looking upfield, worried about what they were going to do next. And like I say, some guys, times people try to be Superman. We don't need Superman. We just need them to be the best of themselves. And you could see it. You know, some of those helmets were already turned in, and you could see, you know, a different standpoint. They just got to worry about catching the ball. But we can't change what happened last night. So the last thing I need these guys to do is keep focusing on that they dropped the ball. I need them to focus on what they're going to do next. And that's, you know, what everyone in this building will do next.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Welcome.
Okay, we'll give a few seconds for any last hand raises here. Okay, Dante, I don't see any. I appreciate you joining us tonight. Media, thank you for being with us. We will see everybody out at practice on Tuesday. Until then, have a good time. Thank you.
I appreciate you all for joining us. And still, no matter what happens, we still going to fight on. I promise you we'll be back.